Last week, I went on a first date. He planned it to go to one of my favorite places, the art museum, and we both showed up ready to connect, and it was all going really well until it wasn't. And it got me thinking, not just about dating, but about the fact that we have so many conversations that we're not always prepared for. And that's what I want to talk about today. Hi, if we haven't met yet, my name is Laura Jean. I'm the founder of Let's Be Saints Co., where I really help young Catholics navigate this dating world with confidence and clarity, not from the sidelines, but from within the dating world itself. I bring years of theological and psychological formation into what's happening right now on dates, over texts, and in the spaces where your faith meets your desire for love. Dating today is confusing. We're told to be independent, yet emotionally available. We're told to date casually, and then we're also told to find our person. And somewhere in the middle of it, a lot of us can be left confused, wondering, well, how do we actually do this well? Well, that's what I'm here to help you with, not from the outside, but from the middle. And I'm going to help you through it one step at a time. This video is sponsored by my brand new free workshop called Ready or Not, a Catholic's Guide to Dating with Confidence. If you want to stop second guessing yourself and start showing up in dating with clarity and confidence and peace, this is where you want to be. So stay tuned for a little bit later where I talk more about it, but you can find all the information in the link in the description. Now let's get back to this week's date. So it was all going really well. The art museum was closed for a private event, so we had to adjust, and we ended up taking a lovely walk and getting to know each other through really great conversation. Now, to be honest, conversation in person has never been an issue for me. It's always easier to be curious about someone's life, to ask questions, to be really present when there's someone in front of you. And getting to know someone over texting, that's a completely different story, and I have so many thoughts on that, but this is not the video to get into that, so we will leave that for another time. But the fact of the matter was that the conversation was going really well. I was actually surprised by how well the conversation was going. And by the way, I feel like I have kind of cracked the code on being present in this talking stage and these early dates and things like that. So if you want a video solely focused on that, I am more than happy to make it for you. So just let me know, comment below if you want something like that, and I'll make that for you. So the date itself went great, but what happened in the days after was where things started to unravel a bit and reveal more of the whole story of what was going on. After the polite thank yous after the date, he wasted no time in figuring out when he could see me again. And then after that, it was kind of quiet for a while, which was not atypical for our texting conversation, but it's important for context in this story. Well, after a few polite check-ins over the weekend, the very next thing out of his mouth, or I guess his thumbs while texting, was the question about intimacy. And what struck me as odd about the timing of this was the fact how he was bringing it up. It wasn't that he was bringing it up early. I am a huge proponent on having these conversations on your values really early on, so you know that you're both on the same page or where you differ and can make a conscious decision on whether or not to move forward. But it's the way that he brought it up. He started with asking my perspective on it, which I have had a lot of practice in explaining. And so I did calmly, clearly, and with confidence in this is what I believe. And what he came back with was similar in the sense that he was as confident and firm in his stance. And he said, I really need intimacy to feel closer to the person that I'm dating. And it's just like who I am. And it was kind of clear that he wasn't willing to hear me out. He wasn't willing to take any other answer into consideration. He just really wanted to know whether or not I would sleep with him in order for him to spend more time with me. And that is what kind of that disconnect I really felt. Now, if you're in the dating world and you're Catholic or Christian and you're trying to wait until marriage to be intimate with somebody you're dating, chances are that you've had this conversation before. And it's not my first time encountering this. I've encountered it several times. And I do encourage this type of conversation to happen earlier rather than later, because you want to make sure you're on the same page and that you're consciously going into a relationship with somebody where you know where they stand on this topic, because it is really an important topic. And honestly, I'm glad that he brought it up as direct as he did, and it wasn't some other situation that we were having this conversation. But the way in which it was framed was kind of felt like a test of whether or not I was going to pass in order to earn his time with me. And that just did not sit well. Now, I can hear all the advice that I've ever received screaming in my ear saying, well, the right one will want to wait. Or at least the right one for you will be open to hearing why you want to wait and be open to that himself. Now, can I be really real with you for a minute and say that that all sounds really nice, and I'd like to agree with that, but I really can't say that. And the reason is because I don't believe in saying something, promising something that I've seen have the opposite thing happen time and time again. Now, do I hope that that person out there for you is willing to wait? Absolutely. Have I seen proof that people like that exist? Yes. But I also haven't seen that always true for me. And that's why I can't sit here and say that all these nice things to you, like your person will be perfect, because what I can guarantee is that they won't be. No one is perfect. And if you're waiting for perfection, you'll be waiting for forever. Now, I've had this conversation several times, and maybe you have had this conversation as well. You meet someone with potential, it's looking like it's going well, and then boom, here comes the conversation about values. And it's not just about chemistry anymore. It's about conviction. It's about whether or not your values align, or you're willing to hear each other out on your values, or if your values are too much for them. And I've got to be real with you. People will say the right one will wait. And I sincerely hope that that's true, but I can't promise it. Why? Because I don't believe in promising something that I've seen too many examples of the opposite. No one is perfect, but hear me clearly. This is not a permission slip to settle. This is not your cue to say, well, this is as good as it's going to get. No, waiting for someone who will wait with you is not asking too much. That bar is not too high. I know this because it's written in our nature. We were made for one man and one woman until death do us part in the confines of marriage. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a really powerful pull that our nature has on us. Every human being is capable of living that way. Now, whether or not they apply themselves and do the things necessary to live according to this way is up to them and varies widely in execution. But here's what I do know. You are doing, or you're in the process of doing, the things necessary to live in accordance with God's plan for you. And that is no small thing. And I want you to know that you are not forgotten. Your faithfulness is seen. The Lord sees all of your efforts, and He is so close to your heart. You deserve someone willing to wait. That's the long and short of it. Are there people out there who are living in this way and really trying to strive for the same things you are? I have to believe that that's true for you, because I want that so desperately for you. But the question still remains, well, what do we do when that moment comes? When someone challenges our values, wants to get clarity on that, and how to have these conversations. Well, I'm going to share with you the principles that I follow in order to have these conversations. I've done this time and time again in my life, and I know it works. So I want to share these things with you. The first thing is to know what you believe. Like, truly know what you believe and the why behind it. Because here's the thing, if it's just as shallow as, well, I heard this in in church camp when I was a teenager, or, well, this is what the church teaches, doesn't it? Or this is what my parents told me to do. That kind of conviction is really shallow. And what that means is that there's a lot of room for interpretation and there's a lot of room for new beliefs to take hold in their place because they're so shallow. So you need to be really clear on what it is that you do believe and why. Get really clear for yourself. And number 2 is to communicate clearly with confidence what it is that you believe. Now, Brene Brown has this great quote, and she says, "Clear is kind." And here it is absolutely true. The more clear you are, the more with confidence that you express what it is you believe, you leave no room for doubt or uncertainty or wiggle room for interpretation, and you can be confident in expressing what it is that you're saying because you're being so clear about it. That's number 2. Number 3 is to let them have their opinion. Now, this is the hardest one, especially when you like somebody, you really want to convince them. You want to be enough for them. You want to explain enough. You want to be enough. You want to earn their agreement. But listen, you are not here to change anyone. That's God's job, not yours. So if someone has a different opinion than you, then take it for what it is. Make a decision based on what it is, not what you hope it can be. You have free will, as do they, so use it. I know a lot of advice out there comes from couples and people who are already married and they're looking back on their dating journey with hindsight and kind of like this highlight reel that like I made it and I have this confidence that you can do it too. And this information is so valuable, but here's why my voice might be the thing that you need right now. And that's because I'm in it with you. Because I'm not telling you what worked 10 years ago in a different dating culture, a different dating landscape, a different season of life. I'm navigating these same apps, the same ghosting, the same spiritual tension between desire and discernment, and I'm doing it while choosing faithfulness. That's the difference. I'm not looking back, I'm walking forward with you. And I'm not here to preach perfection. No one is perfect. I'm here to share with you what it looks like to be formed in the middle of the story, to be always becoming the person that you were created for. And this is the voice that I wish I had all along my journey. Someone saying, hey, I get it. And I'm not giving up on the kind of love that God made me for, no matter what world we find ourselves in. And if you're still here, that means that you're probably someone who is willing to do what it takes to date well, to not just hope for a holy relationship one day, but to do the work to dig in and prepare for it. And that's exactly why I created something for you in this free workshop called Ready or Not, a Catholic's Guide to Dating with Confidence. In it, we're going to dive deeper into the beliefs and habits and conversations that will help us stop second guessing yourself and start dating with clarity and peace. No fluff, just confidence. And if that's something that you want, I encourage you to look into it further. The link will be in the description below. Whether you're brand new to dating or just feeling burnt out, I want to help you rebuild from the inside out. You can sign up at the link below and it's free and it's so worth your time. And I can't wait to see you there. Dating in this world isn't easy, but you don't have to walk it alone. There is a way to be both faithful and confident, to be clear about what you want and kind in how you convey it, to prepare for a holy relationship while also living right here, right now. This space exists because I believe that dating can be holy, because I believe that you desire formation, not just advice, because I believe that there are more of us trying than the world wants us to believe. So if this spoke to you, I encourage you to stay close, subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if while you're watching this, someone came to mind, I encourage you to share this with them. We can't do this alone, and you never know who needs to hear this today. So please share it with someone who may have come to mind for you. I'm cheering for you.